Hi everyone, it's Jess, aka Colouring Bumblebee, and I'm back today with another video for you. Today is my October completed pages video, and wow, what a completed pages this is. I'm looking at the stack of books next to me, and it is taller than where my camera is. It is actually just about taller than where my camera is positioned on my desk. It is insane. So I will very quickly go over the stats with you, because this is going to be quite the long video. You know more than I do, as you can see how long this is. But here are my October colouring stats. I completed a whopping 76 pages. I completed so many pages that I had to stick in an extra page. I just used sellotape here to stick in a bonus page, as I'd already started setting up November. Didn't expect to need this many pages, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 pages for all my completed pages in the month. I only did 4 colour by numbers, so you will see those at the end. And you know I've been feeling very inspired with my colouring when my colour by numbers are lower in numbers. And I did 4 double page spreads, which, wow, really pleased with that. Especially considering for the first 6 months of the year I did 0 double pages, and this month I've done 4, so that's amazing. I completed 2 long-term whips, so it was great to get those done. I did 28 individual buddy colours, which is crazy. I'm not quite sure how I managed that many, but I did. And 17 group buddy colours. 12 of them were all from the same book, and you will see that in a moment. I coloured in a total of 44 different books, which again, insane. And 12 of those were previously untouched, meaning that I would say I now have 68 is actually the exact same number I had before, but because I added 12 books to my collection, I've netted 0 for my untouched books. But my percentage has gone down. It's now back to under a quarter untouched, so it's 24.4%, so really happy about that. I've got 278 books in my collection. Oh, and I haven't written down here how many books I've coloured. 443 total pages that I have coloured in 2025 so far. And I started just 2 whips, and I'm definitely finishing this Godule one today, and the other one I'm not sure when that will be. But let me open my journal up to the correct page and make sure you have all got yourself a nice hot drink. I've got a lovely cup of tea in this bee mug. I would tip it to show you, but then my tea would be all on my desk. Yeah, let's get into the first book. Okay, first up, I've got 50 Mythical Miniatures by Camille Angel Cover. I'm sad to say that this book, I say sad, I'm excited to say that this book is completed. I'm sad, though, that it's also completed, and you won't be seeing this book as much anymore on the channel. But I completed 12 pages in this book the first half of the month. I kind of went through it where I was completing about 1 a day for a few days in a row. I saw that I was so close to the end. I was like, let's just get it done. And it feels like so long ago that I completed this book, but it was what, middle of the month? This felt like a crazy month for me. I've completed so much, it's insane. But going through the 12 I completed in October, I've got the Griffin here. I was inspired by the front cover for this one, and just loosely inspired with some of the colours. But yeah, that one turned out nice and bright and colourful. Just a little bit of super gold marker on the windows and the door. Done the Chimera. I really like this colour for the background. I found this one quite tricky to decide how to colour it, but I'm quite happy with how it turned out in the end. Nice and cohesive. Cerberus was another one which I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to colour it, but I really like this pinky colour that I used for the background, a little bit different from some of my other pages in here. Then I've got the Harpy. I think harpies are just creepy creatures, but I tried to distract from the creepiness by outlining the wings with a super golden marker, so they're nice and shiny, and I outlined her headband with one as well, so that was fun. And I've got the cockatrice. I decided to go very muted with this one. I found an inspiration picture online because I had no idea how to colour it, and saw this kind of colourway of the dark olivey green body, kind of muted yellow and red on the wings and the face. I really liked that idea, and then just brightened up the colours a little bit for the flowers down at the bottom. I did the Hydra. This was one that was picked quite a few months ago. That I just wasn't inspired at the time, and it just sat uncoloured for ages until right towards the end. And I decided to just go for this fun teal green. I was kind of flipping through the book going, okay, what colours haven't I used? I mean, I've used a tealy green on this one, but it's a... oh no, it is actually the exact same shade, but it looks different. I thought, yeah, I haven't used teal too much, so I used teal with a nice bright yellow background. This was the final page I coloured, and I really took my time with this and tried to make it one of my favourites in the book, and I think it is. I really like the super golden marker silver background I did. It really complements the dog really nicely. I coloured it like a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, which is probably my favourite dog breed, and used some of my favourite colours, pastel pink and purple. So yeah, love that one. The Chinese dragon didn't exactly turn out like I initially imagined, but again, another one done. It's got lots of super golden marker on this page. I kind of tried to just change my opinion of it by adding loads of shinies to outline the entire thing pretty much. I've got the Manticore. I knew I wanted to go for a black and red colour palette for this, and initially I was thinking of doing a red creature, black background, but I thought I've done quite a few black backgrounds, let's do a red background and do the black creature. And I added some black glaze pen on its wings and on the eyes, and then silver super golden marker on the moon there, so that was cute. Another page with a super golden marker background, this time in this kind of coppery colour. It's so shiny, I love it. I really love the colours of the Dryad, it's a lot of fun. Then I've got the Hippogriff, another one where I went a bit muted with the colour palette, but I really like the finished result of it. Did some outlining with a copper super golden marker. These super golden markers are definitely the MVP in this book. They always make a page turn out so much nicer. And the final one I have in the book is this Crystal Door. Wasn't entirely sure how I wanted to colour this, and I just had the idea of purple in my head, so I went for it. Just went for a kind of monochromatic purple look, and I used lots of the Sakura clear glaze pen on the crystals, so they're really shiny, and I love that. And some super golden marker accents on the door. But yeah, that is my first ever completed colouring book, and I tell you what, it is so satisfying to be able to flip through and see absolutely every single page in the book coloured. This was a year of really kind of hard work. I say hard work, these pages aren't hard, but like taking the time out of my day to really sit down and colour these. So yeah, really exciting to get this one finished, but it's bittersweet because now it's done. That is 50 Mythical Miniatures by Camellia Angel Cova. Then another book I did a lot of pages in was The Lonely Pumpkin Had a Great Fall colouring book by Usiku. And this is because I did a challenge for myself where I had one day which I just dedicated to this book, and I was interested to see how many pages I could colour in one day. And I didn't rush them, I just coloured them as I would normally, and I managed to get 13 pages done, and I do have a video dedicated to this on the channel. But I'll go through the pages I did. First up, we've got Endless Knit. I really liked the limited colour palette on this page with the orange and blacks. That one turned out really fun. Then we have Haunted Library. This is probably one of my favourites that I did on that day. I just love the colour scheme that I used for the books here. It worked really well, and I did a bit of gold signo on all the accents on the books, so they're nice and shiny. Then did a bit of a simpler one, crafting. Very, very simple this page. Just black really, with a silver signo outline of the bats and all the kind of paper, almost like the it's got silver foiling edges. It's a bit of a fun touch to it. This is probably my other favourite of the day, lunch. I just love this rich green background with all the autumn leaves and the mushroom. Turned out really, really nice. Then I did this one, Home Sweet Haunted Home. I really loved the background of this, and if it wasn't for the background I wouldn't care for this page too much. But I was actually inspired by this background to do another page later on. I used the black glaze pen on all of the ironwork and the clear glaze in the windows. So that's nice and shiny. What was next? It was this one, the Black Cat's Coven page. I tried to change up some of the cats so they weren't all completely black. They have a couple of white patches here and there. But I like the pink background on this one. It turned out nice. Then I've got, is it this one? I kind of did the tabs down in order. Then I did this one. I believe this is Merry Meet. Yes, Merry Meet, where Boo meets the dog Bones, which I named them. This is Lonely Pumpkin, Lonely Skeleton, Boo and Bones. Yeah, this wasn't my favourite. I think I could have done a better job, but that's okay. Then we have one near the front. This one, They Are Here. Really love the purple background on this one. I think it sets the tone of the page really nicely, and I like the kind of purple outlining I did on the ghosties and the mossy floor. Turned out nice and effective. Then I've got At the Fair. This was one my mum picked out. She liked that there was a cone of bones. Another one which I think I could have done better on, but it's good to get that one done. Then we got Friends. Really like the bold strip of background that I've done here, and how each of the friends look slightly different from each other in terms of like colour scheme of their heads. I thought that turned out nice. Then the page before, What Have We Here, with some more pumpkins on the page. So yeah, did a bit of a brighter blue background compared to the more kind of indigo blue on that one. Then I have, what's this called? Haunted Library? No, Cozy Night. Cozy Night. I think one of my tabs has fallen out. I went for a bit of a pastel colour scheme on the books of this one. That was fun. I think that was using one of Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colouring, her colour palettes, Halloween pastel colour palettes, which she popped up on her Ko-Fi store for free. So that was fun. Yeah, that was the last one I did. What was the other one? I know there's one more before that one. I think it might have been nearer the front of the book, but where, I'm not sure. I've got it written down here. 28, What Have We Here? Oh, it was this one. I've already showed you it. It was just the tag must have fallen. I've shown you them all. This was the last one I did. To Be or Not To Be. Nice, easy one to finish the night. And those last three I did on stream with you all. But yeah, it was great to get another 13 pages done in this book. I've now done 13 plus 15, 28 out of 93. So we've got many more years of Lonely Pumpkin to come. But it's nice to flip through and see some of the pages filled with colour. And I like how Lonely Pumpkin looks the same throughout. But yeah, that was a really, really fun challenge. And if anyone ever is inspired to do something similar, definitely let me know, because I'd love to see what you do. That is Lonely Pumpkin Had a Great Fall by Usiku. Okay, now we're moving into all of the books that I coloured. Not a bunch of pages in, just one or two. First up, I've got Moonlight Mischief by R.J. Hampson. I coloured this one on stream, and it was a buddy colour with Lauren at Lauren Reed Colour. And we did this one. Oh, it's a bit sticky. Got a bit of, oh, there's a bit of blue tack on there. And I kind of forgot what I'd used on here, and woo, it's shiny. So for this, I based it with Ohuhu alcohol markers. I used a really dark brown for the background because I wanted this to look like it was a moon glowing. There was a like crescent moon drawn in the middle. Don't know if you can make, oh yeah, you can make it out vaguely on the back. Well, I could see it, I'm not sure if you can. But I covered that up and then went over with metallic watercolour over the moon. And then I used, what pencils was it? Artex pencils to shade. Really love the autumnal colour scheme of this. And I finished it off with this. I've become quite obsessed with this. It's the Prism Glimmer Mist Spray in Glamour Gold. This is by Hunky Dory. I got this after watching lots of Karen, My Colourful Country Life, talking about the Kaisercraft Shimmer Spray, which isn't available here. Found this on Hunky Dory Crafts when I was doing another order and thought, let's give it a go. And I love it. It gives a really kind of fine mist of gold shimmer on the page. And it is a little bit messy, so I tend to do it outside. But you can see the kind of splattered effect on the page. And yeah, it's just super fun. Really loved colouring that one. And looking back at it is, oh, such a cute page. Let me move mine across and show you Lauren's here. Hers looks completely different from mine. She went more kind of cool toned, whereas I went more warm toned. But yeah, absolutely loved colouring this page with you, Lauren. So thank you for buddy colouring with me, as that was my first page coloured in this book, Moonlight Mischief by R.J. Hampson. Then I have the Kirby Rosanes 10-year celebration colouring book by Kirby Rosanes. And this was kindly gifted to me by the publishers at Lomart. And they asked me to colour a page for a bit of a collab they were doing on Instagram. And I chose this mushroom dinosaur. And again, absolutely loved colouring this. I based it with Crayola Super Tips, did shading with Artex pencils and a couple of Prismas. And then I went over the top with that gold shimmer spray again. You can really see some of the, I think it was this area, I accidentally sprayed it a bit too close. And the closer you spray it, the more kind of condensed the shimmer is. Whereas if you spray it further away, it's more scattered. And I do prefer that look. So I then went over and did some other spots where I was a bit closer. And then it still wasn't giving that kind of large splatters that I was wanting, so I got out the Winsor & Newton gold ink and splattered that over the top as well. So this page is super shiny. I think you can see it. Absolutely love it. And the background was the Ohuhu soft pastels. I just used a couple of brown colours to give it that kind of sepia tone look to it. It was so hard to capture a good photo of this, and I don't think it's picking up properly on camera, but it is definitely shiny in real life. And yeah, really pleased with this. It was an exclusive page in the book, so I was really happy to get that one done. That was my first page coloured in the 10-year celebration by Kirby Rosanes. Then I've got Witches Around by Yusiku, and this is a group buddy colour that I'm part of. I don't know who hosts it. I don't think anyone really hosts it. I think it's a bit of a free-for-all group. Like, there's no one particularly picking the pages. Someone might suggest a few and we'll vote on it, or someone will be like, I really like this page, can we colour it? And we'll go, yeah, sure. But the page that was picked for October was this one. And you can see I used one of Elm Colours' different, I can't remember what the hashtag was, a different colour palette, different Halloween palette. I don't know, but she had 4 different palettes and I have managed to use all 4 of them throughout the month. I used Happy Pumpkins on this because as soon as I saw it, I thought, I know exactly how to translate that onto the page. And it worked out so beautifully. I absolutely loved how this turned out. I used Ohuhus to base, Polychromos to shade over the top, and then some gold Pentel Dual Hybrid Metallic gel pen in the background. There were some stars in there, and then I added a bunch of extra dots just for some fun. Yeah, I love how bright and bold and slightly different the colour palette turned out. Yeah, this is the perfect palette for this. Need to save this to the side, and I've got some alcohol marker numbers recorded down on there. But yeah, I'll save that to the side and use it potentially again in the future. Oh, I didn't write a date down on this one. Where's my pen? That was on the 3rd. Feels like such a long time ago that I coloured this. There we go. Yeah, that was Witches Around by Yusiku. Then I've got the Cat General Store and Magic Key colouring book by Moko. And this was a buddy colour with several people. Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colouring, Ashley at AA, and Amy at Amy Ward Art. And this was actually a buddy colour plan for September. And I think all of us, apart from Ashley, didn't complete it by the end of that month. But this is the page we did, the Magic Broom Shop. I really like how it turned out. It had a nice kind of pastel feel to it, nice and soft, but still kind of magical looking. I was inspired by Zoe to add this wood grain texture to the floor. So thank you, Zoe, for that inspiration. I used Artex for the entire page. That was the only pencil set I used, and a bit of gold Signo. Some of the details up here. In fact, it looks like I've smudged it a little bit, which is annoying. I have recorded down all of my colours that I used on the creatures here so that I can transfer them across to the character profile page. Here it is. I haven't coloured that yet, but I do want to get that one done eventually. Yeah, I really like how this turned out. Let me move mine across and show you everyone else's here. Not everyone completed theirs. I know Amy's still working on hers. I think Zoe completed hers, or she was very, very close to completing. Anyway, I will show you for sure Ashley's and potentially Zoe's as well. But yeah, thank you everyone for buddy colouring with me in this book. It was great to get another page done in here. And this went for my focus artist of the month, which was the Tokumeku series, which was a bit unintentional, but turned out I managed to colour in five. I can't count. Yes, 5 of these books that you will see throughout the video. That is the Cat General Store and Magic Key colouring book by Moko. Then I've got a cute and cozy colouring book. I couldn't go the month of Halloween without colouring in Spooky Fuzzy. I only managed to colour 1 page in it last year for Halloween. And this year I also only managed to colour 1 page in it. So that was the page I coloured last year. And this was the page I coloured this year. I just thought the little characters going kind of trick-or-treating was really, really cute. I recorded down all their colour combos here that I can bring throughout the book. But yeah, this was a nice, quick, simple page and went for a bunch of prompts from Zoe and Jana's Facebook group, the Cute Comfy Cozy Facebook group. They did a Halloween bingo card for some prompts in these books. Yeah, I think it went for Ghost, Black Cat, Pumpkin and Candy and Skull. So yeah, there was a bunch on this page. I wanted to get a few more done here. You can see I've got a few flags, but I really ran out of time at the month. That is Spooky Fuzzy colouring book by Vivi Tinter. Next I've got Luna Colouring by Stratton Peterson, and this was a buddy colour with the lovely Vera at Zoo Vera Art. And where is the page? It is here. We did the Autumn Harvest. Oh, one of my, if not my favourite page in the whole book. I love colouring pumpkins. I love colouring vegetables and fruits. I just loved colouring this page. And it all went so well. The colouring went so well until right at the end when I coloured this background and the black marker I used kept smudging. So there are some blue splodges, which probably won't pick up on camera, blue splodges here, which I covered with layers and layers of white paint pen. I then ended up getting one of my brush markers to kind of colour over the whole top section to try and disguise it for a bit. And I was so annoyed with it. I was so tempted to just paint over the entire thing with black acrylic paint, but I thought, you know what, let it be. Imperfections show that you actually work and colour and care about a book, so imperfections are part of the process. And it's a funny memory now to look back on. But I can't let that dampen my sort of love of the rest of the page, which I really, really do love. I based it all with Tombows and shaded over the top with polychromos pencils and used some silver Signo in the background. Yeah, because for some reason my white paint pen turned blue on this black pen. No idea why, which is why I had blue splotches up here. It's never done that before. I have it when you put it over the top of something red or purple or pink and it turns out like hot pink, but never it turning blue. So I went over the top of that with a silver Signo instead. And yeah, looks nice and magical. Let me move mine across and show you Vera's gorgeous page here. She did an amazing job, and it's surprising how different our pages look, considering it's got like quite familiar elements in it, like you're going to use lots of greens and oranges and reds and yellows, and they still turned out quite different, which is always fun to see. So thank you, Vera, for colouring with me in this gorgeous book. It was lovely to get another one done from Luna Colouring by Stratton Peterson. Then I've got Animo de la Forêt, and this was a buddy colour with Bama Beams over on Instagram. And this colouring book is illustrated by Caroline Allen. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce it. And the page we did was this lovely Sleeping Fox, and this was another one I used an Elm Colours colour palette on. I used the Autumn Harvest because I thought pink would work well for the flowers, orange for the fox, brown for the log, white on the fox, and then this goldy colour I used on the leaves, as well as kind of a browny orange. I thought that worked well. And yeah, it gave it this lovely autumnal vibe. It was really quick and simple to do. I love these illustrations in this book. It's definitely underrated. Yeah, I'll pop that to the side and maybe use that again because it's a great little colour palette. But yeah, let me move mine across and show you Shannon's here. I love how she turned she coloured the flowers like poppy flowers. I think that was such a lovely touch. And yeah, it was a lot of fun colouring this page with you. Great to get another one done in this book. And it was nice to have a more autumnal page coloured. So that was Animo de la Forêt by Caroline Allen. Then I've got another very autumnal book. This is Autumn Charm by Teresa Goodridge. And I did this as a buddy colour with Michelle at 387M Lewis on Instagram. And this was a whip that I'd had since, not last year, the year before, 2023. And all I had done was base the image with alcohol markers, and I had shaded her, but the rest of the page I hadn't shaded, so I did all that shading in October using polychromos pencils. Really had a lot of fun giving the leaves lots of different tones. I added lots of extra raindrops to give it that really kind of dreary autumn rain feel. Really love how this turned out. One of my favourite pages in this book, and yeah, it was great to finally see this one done. I outlined it with the copper, or is it bronze? I can never remember what it's called. Bronze. It's the bronze Uniball Signo gel pen, because I thought the kind of orangey colour worked well for the outline of this. But let me move mine across and show you Michelle's lovely page here. She did an absolutely gorgeous job as always. Did such a great way of capturing the atmosphere. So thank you so much to Michelle for colouring in this book with me. And I do have another buddy colour lined up in this book for November, so I'm looking forward to getting another page done in Autumn Charm before the season is over. So that's Autumn Charm by Teresa Goodridge. Next I've got another of the Tokimeku series colouring books. This is the Journey Through Fairy Tales colouring book by Sayuri Kobayashi, and this was a buddy colour with the lovely Veronica at Veronica Dunn 66, and we did the Halloween themed page. And oh, this was fun to colour. I did this all on stream over a couple of streams, and it was really fun. I used polychromos pencils for all of the pencil colouring. I used a purple Ohuhu soft pastel in the background. I really struggled fixing it with my fixative spray. I think I did like 5 coats, and I did get a tiny bit of bleed through, like there's like a pink tinge to this page, but I think as soon as I go over it with pencils it will cover up, no problem at all. but I really loved colouring all the little characters on this page. I used lots of accents, so I used the black glaze pen on the iron fence behind them, and I used a black glitter gel pen on the cobwebs, an orange glitter gel pen on the stars, and there's also the black on the Halloween banner here. Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing with the traditional orange green purple colour palette for Halloween pages this last month, so you definitely see that a lot. Yeah, really love how this one turned out. Let me move mine across and show you Veronica's here. She did a beautiful job as always, and it was lovely to do another page with you, Veronica, and lovely to get another page coloured in this book, because other than this one I'd only coloured one, and it was way back last year in October, so it was great to get another one coloured in here from the Journey Through Fairy Tales with Little Forest Friends colouring book by Sayuri Kobayashi. And I've got my full book colour along for my lovely YouTube members at the Queen Bumblebee tier or higher, and this is from Sargon by Maria Troll, and the page that we coloured for October was the Sleeping Beauty Castle, and ooh, it's got a really fun muted feel. I think especially after looking at this one next to it, get that nice kind of muted vibes. Is it that kind of dingy look, which I think fits the vibes of the page of like the overgrown castle. I used Prismacolors only for this page, no embellishments, just white paint pen. And yeah, it was a pretty easy, fun page to colour. I really liked the kind of muted greens and blues and pinks that I used. Worked really nicely for this page. And I'm making a change to my memberships, where somewhere in the first half of the month I will do a pre-recorded colour along. Then on the last Sunday of the month I will do the other half of the page. Sometimes I do the left first, sometimes I do the right first, it doesn't really matter. But I'm planning on doing a live stream this Sunday, so that will be for my members. I need to schedule that as soon as I finish filming this video and get that up, and then we can vote on which page will be next, because otherwise it's going to take us about 10 years to finish this book if we're going at the pace I'm going. But that is Sargon by Maria Troll. Then I have the Cute and Creepy colouring book by Camilla de Erico. I got this book last month and absolutely had to get a page coloured in it before the end of the spooky season, so I did this one on stream, and it was this really cute pumpkin cat. I used Neocolor 2s for the backgrounds. For the backgrounds? Just one background. I used Neocolor 2s for the background, and then Polychromos pencils to add some extra shading to the pumpkins and colour the cat with the pumpkin on its head as well. I used the clear glaze pen on its eyes and nose, so they're nice and shiny, and I used the gold shimmer spray all over the page, which has just given it this lovely shiny sparkle all over it. And I did accidentally get some on this page. I did have a protective page here and didn't expect it to go over the protective page, but it did, so it just means that when I colour this page I'll have to add more shimmer spray, which that's no problem. Yeah, really loved colouring this, and it was great to get my first page coloured in the Cute and Creepy colouring book by Camilla de Erico. Next I've got the Walden Nature colouring book by Raider Prince, or Rayhan Udesi, and this was a buddy colour with Bettina at Bettina Billen on Instagram, and we did this lovely Dia page. And I have decided to make this book a bit of a challenge book for me by just using Inktense. No extra pencil shading, just trying to work on my blending of colours with them and making sure I get like intense, rich colours. I even played around with the background a bit. I channeled my inner Erica at Elm Colours and doing this kind of dotted, dappled effect with the Inktense that I've seen her do, where I just picked the colour off the pencil directly with my brush and just kind of dabbed it onto the page, and it created this really nice subtle texture, which when the page is wet it kind of blends in quite nicely. And then I added lots of gold Signo gel pen dots into the background. Really like how this turned out. And as soon as I saw this page, I knew I wanted a nice pink background and kind of went from there. There's a lot of greenery on it, so I just kind of changed up my greens for this page. But yeah, the other page I did in this book I also used just Inktense with, so I think that's going to be my little challenge for myself in this one. It's not the best paper for it, like it does get a little bit wrinkled, but it was a lot worse than it was. There's just a tiny bit of warping at the top here, but I did put quite a lot of water on the page and it's flattened out pretty well. But let me move mine across and show you Bettina's here. She did a really pretty peachy pink background, and yeah, it's kind of similar colour palettes, but the execution is very, very different. So that was really a lot of fun colouring in this book with you, Bettina. Thanks for colouring with me. It was nice to get a second page done in here, as this book had been sat on my shelf untouched for way too long. But that's Wild in Nature by Rayhan Udechi. And then I've got Mythographic Dragon Spell by Joseph Kattenbang. And I am in a group buddy colour that's hosted by Vera at Zuvera Art and Yolanda at Colouring by Kamama, where each month we pick a page. I think Vera randomises 3 and then puts them up for us to vote on, and the most popular voted one wins, and that's the page we colour for the month. The first month we did the bunnies page, and I joined in for that one, and I hadn't finished a page since then, because the next month was what I call the mouse guard page, and I just had no inspiration for that, so I skipped it. Then the month after that was the dragon fruit dragon, which I based, and I just haven't felt inspired to continue. I think I might pick this up again next summer. And then it was this one for September, and I did start this last month. I did the galaxy background. This galaxy background was created purely with alcohol markers. Did lots of alcohol marker basing on this page, and it was so fun and therapeutic to just kind of scribble away sort of circular motions to create this blended galaxy look. I did that on stream with you all, actually. I think that was in September. And then I did all the pencil shading and the rest of the dragon in October, and I really struggled trying to get the contrast I wanted, because when I saw this page I wanted to do a galaxy background and then have the dragon be purple to match with the colours in the galaxy, and then potentially have the rest matching with the blue tones. Then when I came to actually colouring it, I slightly changed my way and went more monochromatic. Made the planets silver, which was really fun, and to really make the dragon pop out of the like kind of rips of the page, I outlined the page like the torn paper with a purple Uniball Signo gel pen. Used lots of silver Signo on the planets, clear glaze on the eyes. They are super shiny. I think I did 2 coats on that, it feels like it. The first coat often tends to kind of like sink into the page a bit, and then if you do a second coat, it really kind of intensifies it. And then I added lots of pentel dual hybrid metallic silver stars in the background. And yeah, I think I did get the contrast I wanted. I think the page looks really cool. It always looks a lot more blue toned on camera than it does in real life. It's a lot more like true purple in real life. But yeah, very shiny, lots of fun. It was great to get another page done in Mythographic Dragon Spell by Joseph Kattenbang. Now I've got 50 Woodland Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. This is a project book with a whole bunch of people on Instagram. We've got Mindy at Colouring with Cats Among Orchids, Jan at Aloha Lady, Lil at Colouring with Lil, Adela at Winter Spark Creative, and Melissa at Hazy Hues Colouring. And it was Mindy's turn to pick, and she picked this one, which I now understand to be a lynx cat. Wasn't sure what it was, and then a load of people replied in the comments, we don't get these kind of cats in the UK, so I wasn't sure what it was. But I just coloured it, like nothing kind of special to say about this. I just went for it. Decided to make the berries kind of red currants Went for a bit of a different background colour for me with this kind of limey green. I thought that was fun. I initially thought yellow, but I've just done a yellow background on this page, and I don't like having two backgrounds of the exact same colour in a row. I thought this was a nice bright pop of colour. Yeah, no shiny accents on this, just the Ohuhu alcohol markers shining on the page. Let me move mine across and show you everyone's beautiful pages here that they coloured. Everyone did such an amazing job. I don't think too many people coloured it this month. It's been a busy month for a lot of us. But yeah, it's great to get another one done in here. And the next page we are doing is this one of my favourites in the book, where they're hanging up the berries and mushrooms to dry. I think it's so cute with the little badgers. Love them. So that is the 50 Woodland Miniatures book by Camila Angelkova. Then I have this little book, Therapy by Diane Dufour. I love this book, absolutely love it. And this was a buddy colour with two ladies on Instagram, Shelley at Weaver Shelley and Desiree at Desi's Colouring Creations, and we did this campfire page. And I really wanted to have that kind of glow effect. It's not quite as extreme as I maybe wanted for the page. Maybe we wanted more of an extreme glow. But I think I did capture that kind of glowiness with it reflecting on their fur and on the trees and whatnot. But yeah, I'm still experimenting with glow effects. I think I need to commit more to like having the nice yellow bright highlights if I want a more intense kind of glow. And this was the background that I was inspired by the one I did in Lonely Pumpkin. I really like this kind of almost fiery sunset with I used a black, the Caput Mortem Violet, Sanguine and green gold in the background there. Used polychromos for the entire page and a bit of Language gel pen to cover up the black lines on the flames and some dots for like the kind of burnt crispy bits on the marshmallows. I don't think the marshmallows turned out exactly like I wanted them to. Could have looked up a reference photo for them actually to get a better idea of what I wanted them to look like. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out, and it was great to get another one done. I will move mine across and show you both of Desiree and Shelley's pages here. They both did such a beautiful job, and all our pages look so different from each other, which is always a lot of fun. But that was another page coloured in Therapy by Diane Dufour. Then I've got the 4 Seasons colouring book by Green Ivy. This was a page I started in September and just didn't quite get to finishing, and I had a free afternoon one day and decided to finish it. So the page I did, where is it? Oh, this one, which is called Purple Scent. And I picked this page as my first page because it was very, very simple. The background's already done for you. They've put in this kind of like watercolour wash. And then you've just got a lot of flowers, the girl and the cat and the leaf umbrella. So the girl I actually did with washi tape, the dress. I picked this nice kind of matchy purple colour. It looks completely different to this one. I didn't have anything like that. But I thought the purple tones matched with the flowers quite nicely. I used polychromos to do all the shading. And yeah, it was a really nice simple page and great to get my first one coloured in this book. I would quite like to get one done in the autumn section because there's some absolutely gorgeous pages in here. And maybe try and do 1 or 2 every season. I love that one. Yeah, really like this book, and it's quite easy, mindless colouring. Like even like you're replicating the image, but it's not too tricky to replicate. They're not too intricate, which I appreciate sometimes. So that is the 4 Seasons colouring book by Green Ivy. Then I've got the Matchstick Mouse Rainy Day colouring book. I am part of a group buddy colour that Zoe and I started on Instagram, where we colour pages in Matchstick Mouse Morgan O'Brien books seasonally. So for autumn, we've been colouring a page from the Rainy Day and Autumn colouring book. And then for the winter season, we're going to be colouring in the winter book and 25 Days of Kindness. Not sure what we're doing for spring yet, but the page that we coloured for October was really tricky. I think we all really struggled with this page. But it was this one where they're going for a little adventure in the forest. And I think I used ChatGPT to help me because I was really lost. And it really did help me sort of like distinguish the details in the background. And because Morgan O'Brien's style is very loose, and it means that sometimes his lines don't fully line up to places and it gets a bit confusing. But I just decided to keep it simple, use lots of greens for the vines, and I used this fun blue for the background and thought, you know what, let's make the mushrooms blue. We're in a magical forest, why not? And then we've just got a little pop of warmth with the yellow for the flowers down here. Yeah, I think it turned out quite nicely. Let me move mine across and show you everyone who was in the group who completed this page. Everyone did an amazing job. It was a really tricky page to colour, but a lot of fun. So that was the page we did from Matchstick Mouse Rainy Day Colouring Book by Morgan O'Brien. Then I also have the Autumn Colouring Book, and the page we did was this one, Cinnamon Yum, which Zoe and I called it. And in this book, this was my first ever Matchstick Mouse book, so you can see one of my first pages I did here. That was in 2022 when I first got this book. And I was using just the Creative Peaks pencils because that was all I had at the time. And it was a good set to take downstairs and colour this on the couch. So my colours aren't very bold. The blending's fine. No problems with the blending, but they're not very intense. None of the colours are burnished. And I think you can definitely tell a difference between the two pages there. It's a lot more intense and rich, the colours, which I personally prefer. I loved colouring this. I always enjoy colouring autumnal leaves. I think the tree turned out pretty nice, and the cinnamon bun made me want to eat cinnamon buns. And now looking at this, I want a cinnamon bun. Where's my cinnamon bun? Yeah, that was a lot of fun to colour that one. Let me move mine across and show you everyone who completed it from the group here. Again, everyone did an amazing job. And it's been great to get back to this book because I hadn't touched it since 2022. So this book has given me reason to return to it. And I didn't show you in the Rainy Day book, but this is the one we're doing from autumn next month. And then from Rainy Day, we are doing this one. So looking forward to getting both of them done next month in November. We got the next Tokameku book that I coloured in for the month. This is Seasonal Wreaths of Plants and Friends by Mikiko Inotome. Really love this book. And the page I did was this one of the witch with the cauldron and all the lovely leaves. Oh, I loved colouring this. This was a buddy colour with Paulina at Paulina Art Stuff. She did a video where she went through all of her Asian colouring books and found all the Halloween themed pages. And I reached out to her to do a buddy colour and we picked this page. And yeah, I'm so glad we did this one. I think it's a really cute Halloween themed page. I've got all my colours saved here to bring across to this page eventually. Potentially next year I can do it. I used polychromos for the entire thing, apart from a couple of Black Widows for some of these kind of light yellowy peachy colours. I used one of my colour palette books. Let me show it. Here we go. To pick the colour palette, I used the Cute and Comfy Autumn Palette Book by Joanna Stone. And I used a combination of two palettes. So I used this one, Rustling Joy, and I used Garden Daydreams, kind of in combination. And I do have a flip through of 3 of these lovely colour palette books already on the channel. And thank you to Joanna again for sending these to me. But yeah, I really liked the kind of almost like pinky, purpley, brownish colour with all the nice colours of the leaves. Really enjoyed colouring those leaves. And then a nice peachy pink for the dress. Let me move mine across and show you Paulina's here. Oh, she did such a gorgeous job. I love how she did a nice background for hers. I was inspired by her to add lots of extra stars and magic to the wand here. It had a few stars and dots, and I added even more because I loved what Paulina did with making it really nice and magical, and that was definitely the focal point. Yeah, it was amazing to get another page coloured in this book because the last page I coloured was back in Easter last year. Not even this year, last year, 2024. So yeah, lovely to come back to this one, the Seasonal Wreaths of Plants and Friends colouring book by Mikiko Inotome. Then I've got Capybara Cuties colouring book by Rob Parkinson, and this is a project book with Amanda at ALLJ Art. And joining us from this month onward, we have Emma at Emma Colouring 85. And we did 2 pages this last month. The plan is to do 2 pages a month. And this was the first one that I got around to doing, the Wizard Capybaras. I knew I wanted to go for purple and gold theme. I didn't necessarily set out with the intention of doing it just purple and gold, but that's where it went. And I think it turned out really fun. I outlined all of the black lines for the stars and circles and splats in the background with a gold Signo gel pen. So there's a nice bit of shine to them. And yeah, I just love colouring these capybaras. I think it's fun changing up their colours each time a little bit. Because the one I did before, they were a bit more orangey toned, and here they were a bit more neutral, kind of chocolatey brown. So I think that worked really well. Let me move around across and show you Amanda's and Emma's pages here. They both did a lovely job. And then the second page we did for the month was very aptly the pumpkin one. And I kind of struggled with this one. I thought it would be really easy for me to colour, but I struggled with making it stand out. I don't know. I think what saved it for me was the glitter gel pens. I used a black, orange and yellow glitter gel pen for a lot of the details in the background, and that definitely gave it the extra fun that this page needed, in my opinion. So I don't know, it was looking a bit boring to me with all the capybaras and pumpkins looking the same. But yeah, the glitter gel pen definitely distracts my attention well enough for me to ignore the rest of it. But I'll move mine across and show you Amanda's and Emma's pages here. They both did beautiful jobs. And yeah, we are doing 3 pages next month, just so that, because we only did 1 page the first month, so then we will be on top of having two done in a month. So we are doing the showers page, the sleepy time page, and the reading page. So that is Capybara Cuties by Rob Parkinson. Next I've got another group buddy colour. This is Mythomorphia, and there's a group of us who, this was actually the first page that got picked. It was for August/September, and it was the Pegasus double page spread, and I finally got it finished in October, and oh my gosh, I love this page. I loved every second of colouring it, and I really took my time with it, and I'm so pleased with the result. This might be one of my favourite pages from the year. I love it. I used Neocolor 2s to do the background and to do the clouds, and also base the mane and the wings of the Pegasuses. Pegasi, I never know. And then I shaded over the top with Polychromos pencils. Added a bit of the Castle Art Harmonious to shade the horses themselves. So the pink one shaded with a pink tone and the purple one shaded with a purple tone, just to bring a little bit of interest to the white, stark whiteness of the horse. And then I outlined all the clouds with a pink and purple Uniball Signo gel pen. And I like these because they've got a bit of a silver kind of frostiness to them. So I thought that kind of complemented the details of the page without the moon. And then I used some of the CSY paints. I used a pale purple and a pale pink to do all of the stars, and I also splattered it at the end. I'm liking my splattering at the moment, but I splattered the 2 paints on both sides and outlined each of the stars with the Signo gel pens, just because they were looking a bit messy. Like, the paint's a bit transparent so you can still see the black lines, so I just outlined it with a matching colour to kind of disguise those black lines. But yeah, I absolutely love doing this. So pleased to get it done, and I'm looking forward to continuing to colour in this book. So thank you to everyone in that group for inspiring me to colour this one. That is Mythomorphia by Kirby Rosanis. Next I've got A Million Magical Creatures by Lulu Mayo. This was another one of my long-term whips and was a buddy colour with Lisa at my Colouring Nook. And we did this witch page. And I'm really pleased with how this turned out. Now, I say this was a long-term whip. I didn't actually have it recorded in my journal as a long-term whip, purely because all I had done was base the dress and her hair, and that was it. Everything else hadn't been based with Tombow gel brush pens, that is, and I hadn't done any of the shading. So that was all this month. So 90% of this, in fact 95% of this page was coloured this month. I really loved this colour palette and I wanted to have it matching to this page over here. I used, yeah, Tombows to base and the Arteza Expert pencils to shade over the top. And there was like all this kind of zen doodly blah blah blahs in the background. And I looked at it and went, nope, don't want to colour that, don't want to do it, don't want to touch it. Let's black it out. So I got my black acrylic paint and just painted over it. And I think it matches with the black background that was already there for this page quite nicely. And then this is meant to be like water, I think, but I just made it into a magical white and gold swirl. So I just did a little bit of shading with a white, not a white pencil, a grey pencil, and then went over the black lines with the gold glitter gel pen that I've used for the stars in the background. Added lots of stars to the background because, yes, it definitely needed it. I tried to match the gold gel pen to this one, but I don't think I've used the exact same one. It looks a bit different to me, but I tried my best. It may be just how it may be just an illusion, but yeah, I don't think it's the exact same, but close enough. Yeah, I will move mine across and show you Lisa's gorgeous page here. I love what she did with the river and the kind of black she added to it and the bright blue. It looks so good. I loved her colour scheme. And she actually went for it and did all the doodles, which I salute you for, because I couldn't be bothered with that. But it turned out really, really lovely. And this went for my Lulu May scavenger hunt prompt for Castle and Ghost, because there's about 20 ghosts on this page. So that was a good one for that. That was my page from A Million Magical Creatures by Lulu Mayo. Then we've got a few more Morgan O'Brien books. We've got Matchstick Mouse, A Costume Party. This I got, was it? Yeah, end of September. I do have a flip through on the channel and I had to colour a page in it for Halloween. So I think I did this at the end of one of my streams, or I started it at the end of one of my streams and did this one. And I called this page OMG Cute Ghosty because this is, I believe, Matchstick Mouse's niece, and she's just going, oh my gosh, you're so cute. Like with her hands on her face, it's so, I love it. Faced it with alcohol markers and I shaded over the top with Artex pencils because I like to keep my pencil set and Matchstick Mouse colour consistent throughout the book, but different between the books, just to change it up a bit. And I hadn't used my Artex pencils in a Matchstick Mouse book yet, so I thought I'd use them for this one. And I thought a grey mouse would look nice in this book, mainly because I didn't want to be using up my browns in Artex pencils because they are definitely getting low. And a lot of these scenes are inside, where she's inside her burrow, that I think would be using a lot of brown. I say lots. Yeah, there's one. There's a few. There's another. Yeah, there is a few. But yeah, I did that. Shaded with the pencils and then used the silver super golden marker to go over the mirror. So that's nice and shiny, and also the stars in the night sky. Yeah, that was a nice simple page to do from Matchstick Mouse, A Costume Party by Morgan O'Brien. Then I've got Matchstick Mouse Big Adventure, one of my project books. This is with Nikki at Knick Knack Colours, Amy at Colouring with Amy, Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colouring, and Emma at Emma Colouring 85. And we did this one, the River Adventure page. I was really daunted to colour this page, and Zoe and I actually coloured this and started the next one together on a video chat, so that was lots of fun. We didn't show each other at all what we had done until right at the very end, and we showed each other, and it was really cool to get that reveal in real time kind of thing. I was vaguely inspired by the front cover. I wanted to go for a kind of greeny toned water. Mine turned out quite a bit more blue. I think it even started off more green with the base. Oh no, it's quite a muted blues, I suppose. But I sort of highlighted it with some like yellow chartreuse. And I really like the purple accents on the page with the flowers and a hat. I think that worked out really nicely. Yeah, I was really enjoying using the lime peel pencil from the Prismacolors this last month, because Prismacolors are the pencil of choice in this book. But yeah, let me move mine across and show you everyone's lovely pages here. We are getting through this book. Only a handful of pages left to go. Is it what, about 10? How many have we done? 10, 18. Almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 to go. So in a year's time, will we be complete with this book, which is really exciting. And the next page we are colouring is this one, where she is exploring the cave. Another super cute page that I can't wait to colour. So that's Matchstick Mouse, A Big Adventure Colouring Book by Morgan O'Brien. Then I've got Annie Day Autumn Vibes Colouring Book by Morgan O'Brien. And this was a buddy colour with Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colouring. One that we had started last year and both of us abandoned. We lost inspiration, but we've both finished it now. I had based this last year and decided to go for this kind of pastel vibe. Thought it was cute. I was a bit lost. I think I started with the pumpkins initially and then slowly did everything else bit by bit. But I like how Matchstick Mouse has made an appearance on this page. Yeah, I based it with Ohuhu alcohol markers and then shaded over the top with Black Widow pencils. And then just a bit of gold Signo on some of the accents on her dress, on the cauldron, and on her star wand there. Yeah, it turned out really, really cute. It was a lot of fun to get this one done. It was great to get another page coloured in this book. I'll move mine across and show you Zoe's gorgeous page here. She did a wonderful job, and thank you for colouring with me as we inspired each other to get this finally done. That was Annie Day Autumn Vibes Colouring Book by Morgan O'Brien. Then I've got the Creepy Kawaii Halloween Colouring Book by Anna Yazabek. I think but I'm not sure. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But this is published by Cider Mill Press. And I did do 2 pages in here. The first one I did was this pumpkin one. And you can see I used the Pinkalicious colour palette from Elm Colours. I think this translated really well to this page. Love how it turned out with the different coloured pumpkins, the little white mice, the nice orangey yellowy leaves. Yeah, I just added like an extra orangey colour to go with the yellow. Thought that would complement the palette nicely. So I'll put it aside and save that for later. But I coloured this because I was chatting with Chrissy Wilcox. We were doing another buddy colour and she said she was doing a page in this one. I was like, oh, what are you doing? Because I want to colour in this, but I can't decide. And she was doing this page, so I thought, I'll do it too. I'm sold. But yeah, I just used Ohuhu alcohol markers and used some of the Language gel pens to do the highlights. I thought instead of a white, I'd use a matching lighter shade of the pumpkins. It didn't necessarily turn out exactly like I wanted it to, like as bold as I want, not bold, it's like pastel as I wanted to. It worked well on this light pink and the yellow, but this orange wasn't a very good orange for it. That's okay, trying new things. I'll move mine across and show you Chrissy's here. Hers looks so cool. I think she also used a colour palette from Elm Colours as well. But I love the kind of almost painterly look to her page. So that was the first one I did from this book. Then I also did one as a buddy colour with Amanda at ALLJ Art, and I was inspired by another one of the colour palette books that I've got. It was this Cute and Creepy one, I believe. Can I find it? No, it wasn't that one. Gotta see if I can remember which one it was now. I think it had little ghosties in the background. No, it wasn't that. Maybe it wasn't this one. Maybe it was this one. Maybe it was this one. Was it that? No. This was it. This is what I used. That took me way too long. But yeah, I used this one, Twisted Giggles, and I used this kind of felled growl. It's kind of greeny, deep green grey for the Grim Reaper outfit. It turned out a little bit more green than I wanted it to, but I do like it. It gives me Slytherin vibes. Like he's kind of little Grim Reaper, Lord Voldemort, walking through the forest. I used this army green for the trees, the desert sand for the rocks and the little ghosty guys, tan for the kind of mud at the bottom, and then dark brown for the trees. And then for the background, I was inspired by the background of this page with the kind of muted bluey greys. Used Ohuhus for the whole thing. And then I tried my hand at doing a misty background, or a misty effect. And to do this, it was very simple. I literally just got my white paint pen, scribbled it on the page and dabbed it with my finger. And it gave it this vaguely misty effect. It's very liney, but I think that works for this page. And I was happy to do a bit of experimenting in this book because the page itself only takes an hour or two. So it's quite a big commitment, I feel like, doing this at the end. Because if it doesn't turn out, there's no going back really. But it turned out okay. I think I know how I could improve on it for next time, which is always good. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Let me move mine across and show you Amanda's here. I love the colour scheme she went for. It turned out really cute. Did she go purple with her Grim Reaper? I'm pretty sure she did, from my memory. It's like trying to remember all the pages that get sent to you. But yeah, that was another lovely buddy colour. I think we're going to do another one next month as well, because I don't want to put this book away for another year before getting another page or two done. That is the Creepy Kawaii Halloween colouring book by Cider Mill Press. And I've got Tales from the Witch's Cottage by Hannah Carlson. And this was a buddy colour with Chrissy at Chrissy Wilcox on Instagram. And where's the page we did? Right at the front. We did this one, the Spoopy Purple colour palette I used for this one. And we did this Witch with the Cats. And I was a bit apprehensive about using this palette, so I did pre-plan the colours on Procreate and sort of map them out, and decided to use this sort of darker magenta-y purple for the main colour of her dress and the lighter one for her apron. And I think that turned out quite nicely. Then little peach accents, brown for her hair, black for the cats and the crow, and then some white details on the dress as well, and also the background. But the fun thing I added to this was the cobwebs. And the way I did this was I took some greaseproof paper from my kitchen because I don't have tracing paper, but this works just as well. And I traced over a cobweb in the Halloween colouring book. In fact, I've got it in my stack here. I can show you the exact page it was from. I think it was the one with the wreath, yeah. So I traced over this. Oh, no, flipped. Traced over this, and then I just placed it in different arrangements on the page, starting up at the top corner, kind of flipping it round, having it in different like perspectives kind of thing, and that just gave the perfect little addition to the background without being too much effort. Yeah, I really love how this turned out. I know I've got a little piece of paper with my colour palette, with my colours here, because I would like to bring them across to this page. Yeah, I really enjoy colouring this page. Let me show you Chrissy's here. She did an amazing job. She used tracing paper as well to add her own background, but she went much more intricate. And I love all the magical details, like magic dust surrounding the broomstick and the witch. Oh, it looks so good. She did an amazing job, and thank you, Chrissy, for inspiring me to add some fun additions to the page. It was lovely to get another one done in here. That is Tales from the Witch's Cottage by Hannah Carlson. Then I've got the Colouring Heaven Pocket Fairy Tales book by Selena Fennick. And this is a project book with Lil at Colour with Lil and Kathy at Colour V94. And we did the Baba Yaga page. Now, I based this at the start of the month, and I did not like how I based it. I thought the colours weren't that great. I thought I'm going to have to really save this with the pencil shading. But I trusted the process and it came through as it always does. So I based with Ohuhus, shaded with Prismacolors, and yeah, I think it turned out quite nice. I wanted it to look quite neutral. I really like this kind of pinky muted pink for the top here. That was fun. Matched nicely with the skirt, and then add a little bit of pinky peachiness to the hood. Added a tiny bit of the bronze Signo gel pen around the window and on the hinges on the door. Yeah, it was just a nice, easy, neutral page. Nice and autumnal and a great page for Halloween. Let me move on across and show you their pages here. They both did a beautiful job. Always so fun, such fun colouring in this book with you both. And the next page we are doing was my turn to pick. And I picked this one, The Wild Swans. I thought this was a nice cosy vibe for the autumn season. So looking forward to getting that one done from the Colouring Heaven Pocket Fairy Tales by Selena Fennick. So next I've got the Forest Cuties colouring book by Jake McDonald, and this was another buddy colour with Amanda at ALLJ Art. And we did this page of them all wearing their autumnal outfits. Went a little bit different for my colour palette for this page, because once again I was inspired by a colour palette from one of Joanna's books. And I was just flipping through the book thinking, oh, I want something nice and autumnal. And then I came across this one. And I loved the colours of this and thought, you know what? This could work. Something a little bit different. This muted mulberry was really hard to find in alcohol markers. But I managed to achieve that kind of muted grey purple by layering two markers. I think it was a warm grey and one of the purples. So that worked quite well. The pastel purple was nice and easy, and they all matched up quite nicely with the colours in the colour palette. And then it was just a matter of colouring all the animals. I decided to keep the mushrooms, one in like a red pink colour scheme, one in more of the purple colour scheme, and it just was a nice little addition to the background. I like keeping these pages nice and simple with just alcohol marker colouring and a little bit of white paint pen. No, not bothering with the background because why not? Just keep them simple. Let me move around across and show you Amanda's here. And funnily enough, she also chose a very muted colour palette, and we didn't know this before we started. And then we both shared our pictures and we were like, oh, we both went quite muted, and a similar kind of colour range as well. But she used the Derwent drawing pencils, I believe, mainly for the page. Yeah, it turned out absolutely beautiful. So thank you, Amanda, for colouring with me in this book. And I think that was both of our first pages in this book. So it was great to get the first one coloured in Forest Cuties by Jake McDonald. And then I've got the Small World Special by Alex Oxton. It's a Colouring Heaven magazine. And this was a buddy colour meant to be for September, but we pushed it to October with Sophie at Sophie's Colouring Journey. And we did the Vegetable Village, and I based it with Ohuhu alcohol markers, as you can see. I went for... I was basically just inspired by the colours of the vegetables down here. I went for a nice aubergine purple for the aubergine, and it brought that across to the mushrooms. I kind of went for a red onion, so kind of pinky purpley colour, brought that over to the mushrooms, and then a red for the tomato. And it just all came together really easily. Used a nice kind of desaturated green, and then added lots of gold Signo for the dots on the mushrooms, around the wings of the butterflies and the fairy, and also on some of the accents on the door as well. Yeah, it turned out nice and simple. Just went for a nice blue background, had a bit of bleed over from the purple there. Don't know why that happened, but there we go. Yeah, I think the page turned out really nice and cohesive in the end, and it was a lot of fun to colour. I don't have Sophie's page yet, but if I do, I will pop it in here. If not, that's totally fine. Check out her channel and she will upload the page once she's ready. That was my first page coloured in the Small World Special. So thank you, Sophie, for encouraging me to colour in this one by Alex Oxton. Then I have another Tokimeku book. This is the Rabbits and Nostalgic Japanese Scenery, or if you translate this, it's the Peaceful Rabbit Colouring Book by Very Berry. And I can take this washi off. I don't tend to add washi tape to my books anymore, purely for the fact that it leaves this really annoying sticky residue that I then have to clean up. So I just don't bother putting washi tape anymore. But there are a few older ones that still have it. But the page I did in here, I coloured on live stream with you all. And oh my gosh, I loved colouring this. It was so fun. I used Polychromos pencils for the main image and then Prismacolors for the sky background, just so I could get a bit of a easier, smoother finish for the sky. And I really loved colouring it. The entire process was all on stream. The only thing I did off stream, I think, was do a second layer of the grass and the tent. But everything else I'd coloured on stream. I went for a bit of a primary colour scheme. I was initially hesitant to go primary colours, but started with the yellow tent and I thought like a reddish, brownish colour for this. And then I was like, let's bring in a blue. So then it turned into primary colours. I really liked this colour for the mountain up here. I think that worked really well. And the colour for the water, added a bit of earth green to kind of mute it down a little bit. And I had a lot of fun colouring all the different patterns on the bunnies. But yeah, it was great to get my first page done in this book. I have all my colours noted down somewhere that I could bring over to this page. In fact, that would be a nice, quick, easy page to colour this month. And then I've got a nice double page spread. I will see if I could squeeze that in possibly with my plans. I'll leave it put to the side in case I feel inspired to. But yeah, it was great to get my first page coloured in this book, the Peaceful Rabbit colouring book by Very Berry. Another previously untouched book was the Spooky Cuties colouring book, and I coloured this after I finished the previous page on stream. This one's by Suzanne Washington, and this one was kindly gifted to me by Scholastic. There's the one I did. I think it was near the back. Here it is. It was the mummy page. Now, this was a bit of a struggle determining what the animals were. We spent a long time on this guy going, what is it? It looks like a raccoon because it's got kind of that mask on it, but why does it have a thin tail? We were a bit confused. And then I flipped to the front cover because someone asked what colouring book this was. And I was like, oh look, there's our raccoon guy. It's just a stylised tail. The tail's just been stylised and it's a thin tail. So yeah, definitely a raccoon. So I think I started with the capybaras, coloured them, coloured the raccoon, and I was like, right, black cat, easy. Then I was like, brown bear. And then we determined that this was a corgi. And when I looked up reference photos, I was like, yep, definitely a corgi. And I thought this could be a fox and make that orange. So then we got 2 orange, the 2 capybaras, 2 black, and then this bunny can be brown. So that worked out quite nicely. And then just for a bit of added fun, I did black and orange gel pen for all the stars and doodles in the background. Again, another very simple page, but simple pages are lots of fun to do. And I've just noticed that some of them have eye shinies, some of them don't. And I want to add all the eye shinies. Where's my paint pen? I can't find it. I'm going to leave this book to the side and add the eye shinies to the ones that don't have it or I've accidentally coloured over. But that was my first page coloured in Spooky Cuties colouring book by Suzanne Washington. And then I've got Nelko Neko's Story of Precious Cats colouring book. I am part of a group buddy colour hosted by Amy at Amy Ward Art. And the page for September/October was this giant Halloween double page spread. And I am so happy and pleased that I managed to get this page completely finished by the end of October. In fact, with a couple of days spare, because I did this on the 29th. I based and coloured this entire page with the Albrecht Dürer's pencils. I did a light base layer, activated it with water, then shaded it over the top with the pencils dry. Didn't activate them again. And it gives it this nice kind of soft watercolory look, and then the shading on top just gives it that kind of intense colour that I like to have on my pages. I always love colouring the pumpkins. It's going to take a little while to count all these for the how many pumpkins tag, which I will be doing towards the end of November. I need to put a stack of books to the side which have pumpkins in that I've coloured this year. But yeah, I did a bit of the silver. It's one of the Gansai Tambi Starry Colours paints for the moon here. And then for the kind of swirly bits in the sky, it was one of the CSY pale purple paints. It just gives it this nice pale purple shimmer, which complements the purple sky nicely. Added glaze all over their eyes. I love how shiny they are. And black glitter gel pen on the sweets and the lollipops, and a little bit of gold on this guy's costume and this guy's costume. So yeah, I'm really happy to get a double page spread completed in this book, and it was great to get this Halloween one done. Probably one of my favourites in the book, and yeah, it turned out just like I wanted it to, so really happy with that. So that was Nelko Neko's Story of Precious Cats colouring book. And then I've got the Halloween colouring book by Hannah Carlson, and this was a buddy colour with Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colouring, and we did this Halloween themed witch. And in fact, I started colouring this, and we coloured this together when I went to hers for the day towards the end of October. We both coloured in this book. I think I did the background, the pumpkins, the cat and the frog, and then I just had the witch and all the stars and dots left to do. And I decided I wanted to go for that classic purple, green, orange colour palette for this page, but make them pastel toned. So for the smoke, I used one polychromo for the darker purple, and then I used some of the Harmonious pencils for the lighter shades of purple, and they work really well blended with the polychromos. Then for the rest of the page, I just used polychromos in some of the lighter tones, and I like how the black really gives a nice contrast on the page. Then all the stars and dots in the background were using matching colours of glitter gel pen, and I think that's my favourite part of the page, all the glitter. I just love the glitter. Zoe hasn't managed to finish hers, but I will show you a progress pic that she sent me here. Hers is looking amazing. We've both gone for that kind of pastel colour scheme, but very, very different results and colours, so really looking forward to seeing her finish her page. And it was great to get my first page coloured in Halloween by Hannah Carlson. Then I've got Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford, and this page took a deceivingly long time to colour. This was a buddy colour with Jess at Jessie M Photo on Instagram, and we did this mushroom wallpaper page. I'm sure some of you would look at this and think, oh gosh, that would take forever, but I looked at this and thought, that wouldn't take that long, surely. It's just a bunch of mushrooms. Find yourself a limited colour palette, colour away, you'll be fine. Whew, no. Colouring the mushrooms wasn't too bad. I based it with Crayola Super Tips. I found this colour palette online. I knew I wanted to go kind of fantasy colours for this page rather than natural ones, and I wanted blues, purples and pinks. So I found this colour palette, and then I shaded the main tops of the mushrooms with polychromos pencils, and then for the stalks I used a matching lighter tone from the Harmonious set of pencils. I used them quite a lot this month together with other sets of pencils, and they work really nicely. So that part of the page wasn't too bad, although I kept missing bits of mushrooms, and I'd be colouring another colour and be like, oh, there's one that I've missed and another one I've missed, even though I'm going so methodically through it. But that wasn't too bad. The background though, oh my gosh. I did it in 3 sections, and I think it took me just over an hour to do each section. I think the whole background, and it's just a black acrylic paint pen. It took me about 4 hours, and that, oh, I wanted that to be over. I'm glad I did go black because it really makes it pop. It has a really nice contrast. But if I could turn back time and save myself 4 hours, I would have just embraced the white of the paper. I really would have, because it's so fiddly going around all these details. And with the black paint pen, even though you're being careful, it still dries a bit funny, you get some streaks. So to try and disguise that / distract myself from that, I splattered it with the silver Winsor & Newton ink, and also did all of the dots on the tops of the mushrooms with the silver Winsor & Newton ink as well. So there's a lovely shine to this page, and I like the silver pop of the page. But let me move mine across and show you Jessie's here. Oh my gosh, I love her colour palette. I love the background she did. She used Inktense pencils and she went really kind of natural, foresty, earthy colours. Absolutely stunning. This was actually a page picked by my dad at the start of the year for my 25 prompts for 2025 challenge. He picked this page, and when I showed him, he was like, oh, woo, magic mushrooms. And then my mum was like, why are they all the same colour? And I was like, look, it was hard enough to space these colours out evenly without having each mushroom be something completely different. So yeah, glad this page is done, glad it's coloured, glad I never have to colour it again, to be honest. And there we go, that is another page done from Johanna Vassford's Rooms of Wonder. Thank you, Jessie, for colouring in this one with me. Then I've got Kawaii Tarot by Lulu Mayo. I did 2 pages in this book in October. First one was Strength. I finally finished this one off. I had based it and shaded most of it before this month. The only bit I had left to shade was the background, the banner, and the light green leaves. So I finished that off this month and did the nice gold border. I based it with Tombow dual brush pens, shaded with Artex pencils, and the Ganzi Tambi Starry Colours gold round for the border. Did have a little bit of bleed through here that I tried using a colourless blender, but it turned out a bit weird. It kind of made it look worse in a way, but I think it did fade it a tiny bit, just because I knew I wanted to go light for the background. So yeah, it's good to get that one done. And then the other page I did was a buddy colour with Kimberlyn at B312 Colours on Instagram. We had done the 6 of coins last month and we did the 5 of coins this month. This went for my Lulu Mayo scavenger hunt prompt of balloon. So it was great to use this. I used the matching colours from this page, decided to go for a pink building, and then I was like, oh, yellow would look good for the clouds. So that just left orange for the dragon. I think it turned out quite nicely. A bit of Chromatech gel pen on the stars. Actually, the way Kimberlyn coloured hers, she did it as snow, but I did it just as magical stars. And again, the Gansai Tambi metallic paint around the border. Let me move mine to the side and show you Kimberlyn's here. Ours are almost polar opposites of each other. Mine's very warm toned, hers is very cool toned. And she was inspired by the actual Kawaii Tarot deck. So that was great to see that from her. I would really like to colour this one next month. So Kimberlyn, if you want to do the 7 of coins, let me know. Because I got my colours saved for it. I know I'm going to use lots of yellows on this one for the cheese. And then even potentially the 8 of coins, just to get a nice double page spread all coloured. Yeah, great to get another couple of pages done in the Kawaii Tarot colouring book by Lulu Mayo. Then another one of my project books is with Jana at Colour and Create with Jana, and this is the Secret Invitation colouring book by Natsuki. And we are going through the stories in order, starting with story 1. I say stories, we've only not even done one yet. So we started here, and then we did this one in June/July, and then we had this double page spread for August/September, but I didn't complete it till October. But it's finally completed, and oh my gosh, this took a long time. It was really tricky. I had my limited colour palette already planned out. Based with Inktense pencils, that was a challenge in itself. It was all these food items and trying to make them look cohesive, but not too matchy-matchy, and I think I did okay. I think there's cohesion throughout the page, but it doesn't look too crazy matchy-matchy. It's just bright and fun. I really like this book and the pages that it has in it. And we are on track to finish this first story by the end of the year. I did start the next double page spread with the same colours that I used for the food on the opposite page. And then we got these 2 for December, so I think that should be achievable. But let me show you Jana's on top of my page here. She completed hers last month and did a gorgeous job. And yeah, looking forward to seeing how you colour the next page. And yeah, so close to finishing the first story together, so that'll be a nice achievement. That is the Secret Invitation colouring book by Natsuki. And then I have Lost and Found by R.J. Hampson. This is a project book with Dana at Dabbler D. And the page that was picked for October was this one, Destiny. And I really struggled with ideas for this page. So I popped it into ChatGPT. It came up with one response and I didn't really care for it. So then I asked people on my stream what they thought, and on my Whips of the Week video what colours they had in mind, and I had a few suggestions of blue. So I went back to ChatGPT and asked it to generate a coloured page using the colours blue and stone grey and any other colours you think would complement the page. And it came back with this, which I will show you on the screen. And I really loved it. So I tried to emulate that as best I could, changed up some bits here and there. But yeah, I really liked this kind of muted bluey colour that I used. It was using all polychromos. The stonework was actually really simple to colour, and I wanted to create a subtle glow, and I think I did achieve that with just the little bits on the top here. I didn't want it to look crazy, just a little slight glow. Yeah, really enjoyed how this turned out. Tiny bit of silver signo for the stars in the background and on the key down there. Yeah, this one turned out quite nicely. Let me move mine across and show you Dana's page here. At the time of recording, she hasn't quite finished it, but I think she might have by the time I get to editing and uploading this video. So yeah, thank you, Dana, for colouring in this book with me as always. We are taking a break for November just because I'm a little bit overwhelmed. If I do manage to find the time to colour in November, in this book at least, I would colour this one because Dana's already coloured it, and it'd be good for me to catch up potentially, and then I don't have to worry about catching up with any more pages. But we are really getting towards the end of all of the pages left to colour in this book. I think there's about 6 left. Let's count 1, 2, 6 or 8, something like that. 3, 4, or not 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, because there's this one as well. 7/8 for me because I've got one to catch up with, and then the publishing info at the start of the book. So yeah, getting really close to finishing this book, Lost and Found by R.J. Hampson. Then I shocked myself on the last day of the month. I wasn't expecting to get to this book, but I finished Lost and Found and had about an hour before my live stream. So I thought I would colour a page in 50 Zodiac themed miniatures by Camila Angelkova. And this was for my own hashtag, Complete Zodiac Miniatures, and was actually a catch-up from September. Was it September? Yes, this was September's page, the Chibi Snake. I didn't get around to doing October's, which was the Chibi Horse, but I'm hoping to get all caught up at the start of this month instead. But I decided to go for a pastel. I mean, I've been doing all of these chibi zodiac signs with pastel colour palettes and really enjoying the look of that. So I decided to go green and yellow for this one. And initially I was going to go for a yellow background, but I thought, why not go green? I never do green backgrounds. So that was a lot of fun, using a lot of the Ohuhu 96 pastel set. And then I added the Spectre Noir clear glitter pen on the border and on the chibi snake, so I could still have it be that nice pastel green, but also be glittery. So that was a nice little extra one I did at the end of the month in 50 Zodiac themed miniatures by Camila Angelkova. And then the last page proper I coloured in October was from the Polar Bears Adventure Cruise colouring book. And this was a buddy colour with Jenna at the Crafty Caswell and Catherine at Cath Colours Pages. And we did this page of the Mysterious Island, this translates to, the little Halloween title page. And I coloured all of this on stream with you all on Halloween night. I absolutely loved colouring this. I found a colour palette from the Practical Colour Combinations book. I used this one, Acrobat Show. Let me just move it across and you can see how I implemented the colours here. Didn't use all of them, but used a good variety of the colours. And yeah, I think it worked really nicely on this page. I decided to challenge myself by using some different coloured pumpkins with the bright orange, pink and purple. I think it worked perfectly for this page. And even brought those colours for some of the leaves as well. Really like the colour of the background with this mauve and blue violet. And then for the stars in the background and the border, I used some Pentel Dual Hybrid metallic gel pens. The stars are two different colours technically. One's gold, one is orange, but they look the same. One just looks a bit bolder than the other, which is interesting. But yeah, the orange just dries down to nothing. And then the pink was a metallic pink, and that's super glittery and I love it. So yeah, really enjoyed colouring that. Let me move mine to the side and show you Jenna's and Catherine's gorgeous pages here. They both did an amazing job, went for more of a natural pumpkin colour scheme, which normally I would do, but for this time I went for something different. And that was the page I coloured from the Polar Bears Adventure Cruise colouring book, and it was great to get back to that because the last page I coloured was last year in spring. This double page spread back in May last year. So it was great to get another one done in that book by Sayuri Kobayashi. And then the final couple of books I have are my two colour by numbers I coloured in. First being Princesses Tome 2, and I'd been colouring this over the past few weeks whilst watching Strictly on TV, and it was this Snow White double page spread. Love how bright and colourful this is. I did my usual outline with a black acrylic paint pen and then colour with Crayola Super Tips. That turned out lovely. That was Princesses Tome 2. And the final one I did was in Monde Fantastiques, which is a newer to me book, and I had to colour this one of the Headless Horseman. Perfect for Halloween. It was a really cool double page spread using some very different colours that I don't often use in my colour by numbers, but it is a portrait double page spread. I'm trying to show you that all there. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Really pleased with how that turned out. And yeah, just about managed to squeeze this in before I did my live stream. But there we go. That is everything that I coloured in October. What a video. My voice hurts. I've gone through 2 cups of tea filming this video. But do let me know in the comments below which of the pages I showed you today was your favourite, or which few were your favourites. Let me grab my favourite. So my favourite page was from Mythomorphia, with the seasonal wreaths of plants and friends being a close second. But I loved colouring the Pegasus double page spread. I think the thing that always stands out for me about my favourite pages is the process of colouring. So I absolutely loved every second of colouring the Pegasus page, and I loved every second of colouring this page. So that's why these two are my 2 favourites for the month. But I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What a video, what a month. I don't know if I'll ever be able to colour 76 pages ever again in 1 month. But never say never. There's always next October. I think I was possessed. I was possessed by the power of Lonely Pumpkin. And the fact that I did 13 pages in 1 day. She inspired me to just colour this last month. So thank you, Lonely Pumpkin, for getting me to colour so many pages. Here's to the next one. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.